Hello, I'm Jenny Fern and welcome to my library. I'm a chaotic neutral mechanical engineer who's really into permaculture and wants to talk about books, so let's talk about books. Today is day 4 of my 7-day, 7 books, 700 subscriber extravaganza, which is where I am endeavoring to read 7 books in 7 days, post 7 vlogs, and celebrate all of you. Today is Sunday. I woke up with a headache. I woke up somewhat early, took care of all the animals. Our backyard is so flooded. It has been raining a ton, and it seems that like half of the days during this break I wake up to my backyard being flooded, and then there'll be like a day for it to subside, and then the next day it'll be flooded again. I took some ibuprofen for the headache that I have this morning because it was just too much, and ow! 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 Oh, I got by the kitten owl. Oh no. And when I was trying to get his claws out of me, he got me in my finger. I am bleeding. Basically, the only thing I did this morning besides take care of the animals was watch part of a video about Pluto. It was just talking about all of the results from the New Horizons investigations, I suppose, into Pluto and, was it Chiron? The moon? And my God, it is so cool. It is just so cool how other worlds with their like completely different conditions can have such different textures, but in like a more broad sense. Like they can just have different environments and like phenomena, and I think that's so cool. So I'm getting inspired to read a science fiction. I've pulled out a few things. I could read The Water of Thought. I could sit down and read this. I'm also thinking of reading Ducks, the graphic novel. I feel bad today and I want to do whatever I want to do. And then the other option is with friends like these. I don't know, what do we want to do? The thing that I was thinking I might read from yesterday was Raise High the Roof Beam Carpenters. I just don't think I'm in the mood for this anymore because of my brain and all that. I've just finished chapter 1 of The Water of Thought and I'm definitely hooked. I'm into this. This is what I want to read today, I'm pretty sure. Because this is a double feature, it's not the whole book. A little over 100 pages. The font is quite small. It'll be fine. I'm having a great time. Basically, we're on this different planet. It's kind of jungly, but it's also kind of like resorty. Our main guy's name is Boris. He is on vacation. He is a planeteer. His friend that he's been hanging out with, Jones, sipped on this drink from the native population, which are called Capons. Then he went crazy, killed a Capon, and ran off in the direction of this lake called the Great Lake, which is where this drink comes from, which is called The Water of Thought. So that's where we're at now. I'm having a good time. Also, it looks like the sun has indeed come out, which I have not experienced in quite some time. So I think I will go out into the garden and pick lemons, pick some tree collards, maybe some other things. So I'm gonna go do a little garden harvest while the sun is shining. I don't know how to focus on a rainbow, but I think you get the point. So I'm going out into that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, that's right. We are just in time for a garden haul. Super excited about this. This is one of my last oranges of the season. We had like 5 or 6 oranges on the tree this year. First time we ever had oranges. And then all of these are lemons. That was the lemon portion of the haul. Or citrus, I mean. I also have a bunch of broccoli florets. To continue on the brassica portion of this haul, I have collards. Collard greens are really, genuinely the most delicious green I grow. And then I have the tree collards, which are not as good as like regular collard greens, but they're very, very abundant. The arugula portion of this haul, we have arugula. Little Al is licking his bowl here. He always wants to be a part of everything, so here he is. I've been listening to this fellow booktuber. I saw this new subscriber, Zero Shelf Control, and I was like, that is an amazing name. I started watching her videos, and I have been slowly but surely going through her worst to best 66 books I read in 2024 ranked with Unfiltered Thoughts. I have been really enjoying it. Go check her out. Also, thank you for subscribing to me. And you seem cool, so hello. I don't know why I'm showing you this, because it's basically the same thing as I ate the other day, but here it is. I'm so excited. I just had a taste, and it has instantly made me hungry. We have had 2 downpours since we last talked. It's the weather update. The Water of Thought. I am loving this. I am totally digging it. I forced myself to get to the midway point before taking a break. The Water of Thought has some pretty cool stuff going on in it. There is this character who's like an anthropologist, and he has discovered that there is a hominid species on this planet that is on the brink of, at least this anthropologist thinks, on the brink of becoming like a sapien type species. So that's just one of the elements that I think is really interesting about this book, is this concept of like observing something on the brink of becoming a man. They're going through this like a manhood ceremony, and so there's the native population that has their young boys that are going through this manhood ceremony, and the anthropologist has gotten them to accept some of the hominids to also go through the manhood ceremony, and then all of these humans who are also with him, including our main character. I don't know if his name is Boris Brazil or Brazil Boris or what, if Brazil is his nickname, but he's sometimes called Brazil, and then like in the text that we read, he's called Boris. I will say there are casual sexist remarks, as one will find in older science fiction. This one is pretty jarring. Morton laughed. "You'll play hell starting a tribe with those 6 males. Magnuson was unruffled. "The female is not so important," he bowed, smiling to the girls. "Until civilization is attained, and even then a psychic difference remains between the sexes, which we will ignore to our cost. Civilization abandons the rite of passage and enfeebles the race. Eventually we must return on our home planet to the ordeal, to the weeding out. Only males who can prove their manhood should survive and reproduce." He also says this in front of 2 women. The other quote I would like to read to you is this description of these hominids, and they're being used by the native population as beasts of burden in like a quarry. "He had seen slaves before, men abused and brutalized upon a score of planets. This sight before him now was something different. He could not decide at once if it was worse or not as bad. These hominid faces showed nothing, no gleam of human hope or hate, fear or resentment. For all their human shape, the creatures seemed to be not apathetic men, but animals." It's really interesting. The native population of like sapien like creatures on this planet have been using these hominid creatures as their slaves. And so they're pretty strongly against these hominid creatures being assumed to be becoming sapiens, because then they would lose that slave resource. There is other plot elements that there was a chapter that got very plot heavy where I was like, oh, okay, too many moving parts. I know these are all going to come back again at some point for, you know, plot reasons, but really what I'm so interested in is, one, this like water, the Water of Thought, and what's going on there, and then the other is this hominid exploration. My current little obsessive hobby is designing book covers. And I don't even really mean in like a real way where I do like spine and back cover design as well. I mean in like a really superficial way where I'm just designing a cover of a book. And it started with Wind, Sand, and Stars because the cover on my book, I don't like at all. So I started with that, and then I've just been going along, especially with the older works that I have where I think it would be fun to try to do like a new reinvented book cover for it. The ultimate goal, I think, will be to have a little zine of these book cover designs that I can put out into the world for y'all. I could post it on like my Discord or something. You could download it. And then maybe eventually, if there's interest, I could have them sold as little booklets. The thing that I want to do today is design a book cover for The Crucible. Here's what I'm thinking. There are two things that really stuck out to me. One is this description that I read aloud yesterday of this raw, almost unsettling wood. And after that image was planted in my head at the beginning, I saw everything in this settlement, this town, as this like totally unadorned to an unsettling extent. Like no natural beauty, just sad unadornment. The Puritan way. So I've been thinking of that. And I have also been thinking of this scene, which was the most affecting scene to me, where they're in the court and there is this proclaimed vision of a yellow bird in the rafters. And so what I want is like this wood, like wooden rafters, unadorned wood, and this yellow bird. That is what I'm thinking of for the cover. I'm gonna work on that right now. This is what I have so far. I don't know how long I've been at this, maybe like 45 minutes? It's not exactly what I was initially thinking, but I think it has the spirit of what I'm trying to do. Here is another option. This also has an Oriole, but it's not a Baltimore Oriole. This is a African Oriole. So I'm a little less confident in basically its accuracy. Not more ominous, because the other one was like a dead bird, but it's a little more predatory looking, I suppose. I love my little animals, and they're so cute, and I love them so much. Sorry for that tangent. These are the two options I came up with. Could revisit the whole thing anyway. Now, I should get back to reading. So, as you can see by the stunning brightness behind me, the sun has come out. I'm actually feeling very sleepy. So instead of continuing to read, I am going to listen to something and work on my bottle border that I have in my front yard, which I like to work on during winter because otherwise our clay soil is too hard to dig into. I guess I can take you with me. Another garden haul. Jerusalem artichokes, or sunchokes, from my front yard. So I definitely pepped myself up, got a little bit of sunlight, which was genuinely so nice. I am on page 90. There's 117 pages, and I am still having a good time. I am enjoying this. I'm so happy to be enjoying a old, somewhat cheesy, definitely sexist science fiction story. The sun has just about set, and I have finished reading The Water of Thought. I had such a fun time with this book. It was a wild ride. It really has a plot focus. The plot is very active, and you can really see the scenes play before your eyes as if they're an episode of Star Trek. I really enjoyed the ideas discussed in this. I really enjoyed the world that we were in. I even enjoyed our main character, Boris Brazil, because he he wasn't that bad of a guy. I don't know if you've read that much older science fiction, but sometimes the main character is like an incredible jerk, and he was actually not a bad person. There are like some really terrible people in this, and you also get like a bit of vengeance in some ways. So ratings wise, I think if I'm using like a half-star system, I would give it a 4.5, and if I'm using a full star system, I would give it a 4. So that's kind of what I'm feeling. Again, I haven't had like as much pure fun reading something in a while. This was just a fun, silly, goofy time. My husband asked me maybe like an hour ago about what the plot of this book was, and I was able to tell him not everything, but I told him a lot of the detail, and it was just a fun time. It was a fun time explaining the plot of this book. I am not going to give out spoilers because I actually do recommend this, and I do think it's a goofy fun time. What am I doing with the rest of my day? I kind of want to play Tears of the Kingdom a little bit, and I think I'm going to do that now. And the other task that I have to do is like continue editing these vlogs, and I edited day 2 last night, and that took forever. Do you want to watch me play some Tears of the Kingdom? I'm just gonna be looking for wells. I saw it in the middle of a cow pasture the other day, something that looked like a well directly pulled from Tears of the Kingdom, and I was like, well. I knew it. I knew that. I knew it. No, you're gonna see how bad I am. Oops. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Is this a hot spring? What the hell? I feel like I should be saying, "Hark, traveler." Hello, goodbye. I am wrapping it up for tonight. I had to charge my controller because it was running out of battery, and it like had me pause, and I feel like it was in the middle of something actually kind of cool. So I do want to go and wrap that up now. I am going to play some more Zelda tonight. I just edited day 3, and boy, whoa, that is the fastest I've ever seen Louis run. I just edited day 3, and now I have Love the One You're With stuck in my head. So I have a comment on my goals video from Deb Tomaselli. Nice goals, good luck with them. I'm going to try to read 1 book a week from my shelves too. Although last year I tried 1 book a month and only managed 4. Maybe this isn't doable for me after all. To that, I have to say, having the intention is the first step to achieving the goal. And sometimes we intend for so much more than what reality provides, but either way, it's a beautiful thing. I hope the 4 were at least good. That's always what I'm hoping for. If not quantity, definitely quality. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I am so grateful to all of you. The reason that I am doing this whole endeavor is in celebration of all of you. And if you enjoyed this, consider sharing it with a friend who you think would also enjoy it. Consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again tomorrow.